Good afternoon, grade 4s. And welcome to Natural Science Week 8. I am Mrs. de Klerk, your natural science teacher, and I hope that we are going to have a lot of fun this week, and welcome back to all of you. Okay. Last week we looked at the structure of animals, but today we are going to continue because I brought a lot of photos today that I want to show you guys as well. And some of you have asked me questions about some of these animals. So it just makes sense, and it's much better if we can view them and see them. Okay, let's quickly recap on what we did. We looked at the basic structure of animals and the functions of these structures. Okay, guys, remember to turn off your videos. Otherwise, the host is going to remove you and then you can't get in today's lesson, okay? Now, today we are going to continue to look at the structure of animals, and we will look more closely at examples of the functions of these structures. Right, the basic structure of animals. Remember, Friday we mentioned 5 things when we look at the basic structure. Do you still remember what they are? Let's quickly see. The head. The head is the first basic structure of the animal. The tail. We'll be looking at the tail and then again at all the functions and at different tails. The body. We'll be looking at the body of the animal as a structure. We'll be looking at the limbs. Remember, different animals have different limbs, so we'll be looking at that as well. It can be fins, it can be wings, it can be paws. And the senses or the sense organs, and that is your ears and eyes. And so we'll look at the functions of that as well. Okay, now let's start off with the head. Remember, we said last week that animals have a special part in their body called the head, and even the smallest animal has a part where its brain is. In most animals, the head has a brain no matter how small, and here is a picture for you so that you can compare the human brain to those of animals. Now you'll see here is the human brain. You can look at all the different animals. I want you to see here how small a mouse's brain is. Just look at that. Here's a dog. Some animals that you have most probably as pets as well. A dog, hope not a gorilla. Okay. In the head, we also have sensory organs. Remember, we said that's your senses like eyes and ears. Now look at this fox's big ears. I assume that he can hear really well with ears like this, right? And then, you know, a chameleon's eyes, he can just see everywhere. His 2 eyes don't even work together. They can go in opposite directions at the same time. Now, when we speak about sensory organs like the eyes and ears, which animal has really big ears that you think can hear very well? He's one of the animals that his hearing is the best. Quickly type for me which animal. It's one with really big ears. That should give you a clue. Good. Madumbo, is that your name? Elephant. No, Kwanda, elephant. Since not the fox in this picture has big ears, but in general, an elephant can hear really, really well. Okay, let's look at some feeding structures. The mouth, wow, just look at this big jaw and the jaw. Or the beak of a bird, right? So that is what they use to feed with. Okay. Next one, which I told you last time, Can you hear me? Let me just see what you said. Oh, that's your surname. What's your name? If Madumbo is your surname, what is your name so I know what to call you? Kalem. Okay, Kalem. Right. Most animals have a tail at the back end of their body. Hopefully not you. The tail is often pointed, but it can have many other shapes as well. Now let's quickly look at different types of tails. Look here, this is a platypus. There is its tail. Isn't it amazing? You have to look carefully because it's big and its tail looks almost the same. Who knows what this is? This is called a lemur and he lives in Madagascar. Ah, you knew. Good, Zoe. What animal tail is that? I'm going to show you all of them. What is this one?
Cheetah.
And the last one? Now remember that all of these animals' tails have a specific function, and that makes it so wonderful. It's not just there to look pretty or just to show it's an animal, right? It has a specific function for that animal, maybe sometimes more than one. So if we look at this chameleon's tail, you see it is very strong and round so that it can go around the branch that it's sitting on. Okay. So every tail has a very specific purpose. Let's quickly see how tails can help animals. It can help animals to move and swing in trees like monkeys. The last time I told you how it fascinates me how these kangaroos, when they start boxing each other, how they balance themselves with their tails. So a tail can also help an animal to balance. Now look on that picture at the thick and strong tail of that kangaroo. And I can't help but wonder how much that weighs. Okay, tails can also help animals to kill their prey, like the crocodile with its strong tail. It will hit an animal and then grab it and turn around and around so that the animal drowns. So it will use its tail to kill it, a scorpion as well. Right, a beaver uses its tail to pat down the earth. Because remember, he also uses his tail to build his house. So his tail plays a pretty big role in his life. A fish. A fish uses its tail to swim. And some animals, as we discussed last week, use their tails to attract a female. Okay, we're going to look at that later again. Here is a fox where his tail helps to keep him warm. You see that? He uses it like a kind of a blanket. Remember last week I told you that I have a dog that looks like an Arctic fox. And he does, or she, it's a girl, she does exactly the same with her tail. And somewhere during this week, I am going to show you a photo of the Arctic fox when we get to habitats of animals. And then I will also show you a photo of my dog, Phoebe. Then you can see what I mean. Some of you, or someone asked me last week, what is an armadillo? That is an armadillo. Okay. And it can use its tail to protect itself. Yes, that fish was Nemo. You can refer to it as Nemo. Tail can also help to distract predators. Remember we said a lizard or a gecko, when he gets a fright or when he thinks he's in danger, he'll lose its tail. And the tail still has muscles inside of it that will keep on moving so that the predator thinks that he's going to go after that, and then the gecko or the lizard makes a getaway. Right, another function of a tail is that it gets rid of flies. Yes, the real name for the Nemo fish is a clownfish. Thank you for that comment, guys. It's a clownfish, and we call it Nemo because of the movie, right? That's the only reason why. Okay. And here's a dog. And a tail can help an animal to communicate. Like we said, if your dog is happy to see you, it will wag its tail. Then a tail can also help an animal to steer their movement, like a dolphin. Yeah, I also think the puppies. Okay, now we are going to the body. Different animals need to cover their bodies in different ways. Remember we said depending on where you are or where the animal, the function of the animal, what is his purpose or where he lives, his body covering will be because of that. Okay, body coverings need to protect these animals' organs, its bones, its muscles from the environment, from UV rays, from bumps and scratches, and from germs and bacteria that might cause infection. Now, people wear different kinds of clothes in different environments. When we are cold, we'll wear warm clothes, right? And when we're hot, we will take off our jackets and we will wear thinner clothes or fewer clothes. But animals cannot change their body coverings. Right, sorry about that. Animals cannot change their body coverings when the weather changes like we can. Okay, so they have to stay in their skin. Here's some questions for you to think about. Why do you think a bird is covered in feathers and not in scales? Or why does a whale have a smooth, thick skin, but an octopus has a slimy, slippery skin? Why is it that a cat has a soft, furry skin, but a crocodile's body is covered in hard, bone-like scales? There are reasons for all of these body coverings, and it depends on what the purpose is and where the animal lives. A warm, furry body protects a polar bear in the Arctic, just like a scaly body protects an armadillo and a crocodile. They have very different body coverings for very different reasons, but it always protects. We already looked at a picture about this. We looked at a peacock's picture, but males often use their body coverings to attract a female's attention. So it will make itself really beautiful for the female. Like a peacock boasting with his beautiful tail feathers, or a lion that will boast with his mane. That is all meant to attract the females. Some animals' body coverings are there so that they can blend into the environment, so that they can either hide from a camouflage themselves from a predator, or if they are the predator, and they can camouflage themselves to stop the prey from seeing them, like a lion. Now look, if you look at isn't this a fantastic picture of camouflage? Look at this. This animal, this bug looks like a leaf. Exactly the same color. You walk past it, you wouldn't see it. You will have to go out and look for it. And
Hello.
face. Guys, please mute yourselves.
Hello.
Please mute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, it is very interesting. Okay. Later on, or I think it's later in the week, we are going to speak more about camouflage as well. Guys, remember, if you're in the classroom and you don't do what we ask you or go according to the rules, you will be removed.
Hi.
Okay? So keep your microphones off, keep your cameras off. Right. And most animals can walk, they can run, they use their limbs to move. Some animals like chimpanzees and squirrels can use their front or their upper limbs to handle objects. Like we use our hands, they can as well. Even a mouse, they can use their, I want to call it their hands as well. Animals can have wings. Remember, these are all limbs, okay? They can have wings, webbed feet, so that they can move in the water and swim in the water. Some have tentacles as limbs, fins, legs, arms, flippers, and long slithery bodies with no limbs, such as the earthworm. He has no limbs. Okay. Now, quickly look at these limbs that animals move with. To walk or to run, to climb or to swim. Now this is the human body. Now let's see how it compares to a chicken. Now, if you look at the chicken's limbs, you can absolutely understand why a chicken looks so funny when it walks. Just look how his legs are formed. Okay, here is a horse built for speed. This is a frog. Look at the very long limbs. Here is an ant. And then the last one, a crocodile. Do you see how short a crocodile's legs are? No wonder he puts so much emphasis on his tail. Okay, let's talk about the senses. Remember, we said that animals can sense much more than humans can. Like I told you, the dogs and the animals' ears, and remember what I said about the elephant ears, they can hear really, really well. And most animals' senses are much better developed than ours. Now you also get that people use dogs and they train them as sniffer dogs to help find people who are trapped under building rubble or mudslides or even in the snow, and they can find them and show the rescue workers where they are. Or they can smell drugs or bombs and they can alert the police. And then, of course, you also get guide dogs. Guide dogs that are raised and trained to be someone's ears and someone's eyes. Because their senses are so well developed, we can use dogs to do all these wonderful things. Okay, we're still busy with the senses, and here we are looking at a hawk. Eagles, buzzards, hawks, and other birds of prey have extremely sharp eyes, as they have to see small rodents from far away. Just look at his eyes. It's so beautiful. Can you just imagine to fly high up in the air like a hawk? And there's a lot of plants and a lot of vegetation underneath you, very far from you, but you can still see a rat moving. That must just be wonderful. Okay, here's the elephant. Elephants, cats, and dogs can hear sounds that human ears cannot hear. If you look at an elephant's ears, no wonder they are so big, because he can hear so well with them. Here's something I love as well, a dolphin. And dolphins and some whales, they use a special sense called an echolocation. And that sends out special sound waves, and they can find prey or objects from quite far away. I'm not going to get into that right now. It is something you will learn about much more at a later stage. Okay. We have dolphins swimming past our house every single day since lockdown started. I don't know if they know there are no humans on the beach, but they are playing. Maybe there's a lot of fish sardines here right now. And maybe if I get a chance or an opportunity, I can even show you a video that someone made of the dolphins right here by me. Okay, then butterflies, bees, and earthworms have another special sense called chemoreceptors. They taste through their skin or through their feet. Animals such as ants, cockroaches, or crayfish have special sense receptors that can sense something moving from very far away. I also wish I could understand animals and talk to them and know what they're thinking and saying, right? Wouldn't that be amazing? Okay, now we are going to look at the 7 life processes again. And we have to look at why we can say that an animal is a living thing. Okay, we'll have to look at the basic structure of an animal, at their head, their limbs, their body, their tail, and their senses. And then we have to see how the basic structure of the animals helps them to carry out those 7 life processes. Now you remember Mrs. B. Fig, because she is the lady with the 7 life processes. So let's name them. Let's see who can remember. First one, movement. Right, someone got it, good job. Second one, reproducing. The one with the S, sensing. Can you already see how the animal's structure plays a role here? The B is for breathing. The F is for feeding. Let's see if you guys can give me some answers. Okay, what is the E for? All of you said feeding, well done. Now I want to know what the E is for, smart class. Good, you guys are right, excreting. Remember, you have to get rid of waste products. And then the last one, the G. What does the G stand for? Yes, smart class, growing. Okay, now we are going to see, if we look at the animal's structure, how it represents all of these 7 living organisms. Life processes, sorry. The limbs and the tail move in an animal. So what body structure is used for reproducing? Which body structure reproduces? Is it the head, the tail, the limbs, the body? The body. Okay. When it reproduces, it comes from the body. Sensing. Which part of the animal relates to sensing? Remember the sense organs, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, yes? Good. So sensing will be the sense organs like your eyes, your ears, your nose, yes. Good. Breathing. Which part of the body structure has to do with breathing? The body. Remember where your lungs are. Okay. Feeding. Which part goes with feeding? A lot. Limbs, the head, and the sense organs. The limbs, because remember they grab their food sometimes with their limbs or hold it while they eat. And the head and the sense organs all have to do with feeding. Which part has to do with excreting? Yes, Makwanda, good job. And Dane? The body, of course. The body. Because that's how waste products, they get rid of waste products, is through the body. And then growth, where does growth take place? Almost everywhere. The body, the limbs, the tail, the head, everything grows. Okay. So there we can see the 7 life processes and how it relates, or how the structure of the animal relates to the 7 life processes. Let's move on. We are going to do an activity, and you are going to study 4, I think it's 4 different animals, but we are going to use scientific labeling skills to label each animal using the 5 body structures of animals. Okay. Remember last time when we spoke about labeling something, always keep it neat. Use your pencil and a ruler, never with a free hand, and draw straight lines. Okay. Now these pictures are from the Thunderbolt textbook. So we are quickly going to look at them and label them. Right, when we look at this part of the lion, it is her head. Oh, I'm sorry, her head. Okay, this part, what is that? Okay, this was her head. Then the next part is her neck. You see from here the head to where the body starts will be her neck. Okay. This big part here, from the neck to the back where the tail is, would be labeled as her body. Very good, you guys. And then this one, this part, very easy, is the tail. Okay. Let's look at the next part here. The kind of body covering she has is called fur. Okay. Her body covering is fur. And then, yes, the legs, where you guys said the legs now, is the limbs, and this one shows to her paw. Good. Let's go on to the next one. This is a fish. It's not a clownfish, so it's not Nemo. It's a different kind of fish. And when we label it, we're going to do the same. This part of the fish is then its head. Okay, this part of the fish, before we get to the tail, is the body. Okay, now the body has fins as well. What do you call, well, we'll look at that just now, but all these fins have different names. Okay. Right, this part of the fish is then called the tail. And remember, the tail has a function, a purpose. Okay. These two fins are called the dorsal fins. You might have learned about it on a dolphin as well. Then, these are the gills for air. Then you get the right, and then the fish is covered in scales. And there we've just scientifically labeled a fish. So you guys see it's not that hard. Okay, you just really have to look. And if you understand what you're looking at, you will know how to label them. Let's carry on to the next one. A lizard. So we will do the same with the lizard. This part here, easy, the head. Good. The small part, even a lizard has a neck. Then the bigger part, before we get to the tail, will be the body. And the long part, a lizard has a long tail. Okay. What kind of body covering does a lizard have? Is it feathers? Is it scales? Is it fur? Oh, we'll get to that now. Let's quickly look at the legs first. Okay, so this part is the front leg. And then this is the hind leg. Body is quite short compared to its tail, right? And then the body covering, he has a dry, scaly skin. So you guys who said scales, you are right, a dry, scaly skin. And there you just labeled a lizard scientifically. Our next one, a frog. Remember, a frog cannot live where it is very dry because his skin is moist and he needs water. So let's quickly label him. We're going to start on at the top here. And this is, oh, everyone got that right because that's so easy, right? Smarty class. That is the head. This part here is the body. All of this. The body covering is a smooth and a slimy skin because it needs to be in the water also. Here is the frog's front leg. Remember that frogs have webbed feet. Why? Because they are in the water as well and they need to be able to move through the water effortlessly. And then the hind leg. So webbed feet and the hind leg. And there I've just scientifically labeled a bullfrog. Right. Now, look at the following picture and then we are going to answer some questions. Now, if we look in this picture, let's quickly look at the animals that we see here. This is an elephant, we have a bullfrog, a lizard, a tree frog, which is much smaller than the bullfrog, a giraffe, a crocodile, an eater, a hawk, a pigeon, a mouse, and a smaller bird, a sparrow. Okay, now I want you to look at that picture. I'll go back to it now, and then give me 5 different examples of body coverings. So look at the picture. You have choose 5 animals and tell me what their body coverings are. What does a fish have? What does a hawk have? What does a crocodile have maybe? Or a frog? Or an elephant. I see Zoe wrote feathers. Some of you wrote scales, feathers. What else? I need 5. Scaly skin, yes. Crocodile also, right? Fur, there we go. There's an animal with fur, a slimy skin. Yes, a crocodile skin and fur. Have you mentioned 5? Slimy skin. Okay, let's go on to the next question. There are feathers, fur, scales, hard horny scales, soft moist skin, and leathery tough hide like the elephant. Okay, your next question. Name 3 examples of different limbs. Name 3 examples of different limbs. Let's quickly see again. Okay. 3 examples of different limbs. What will yes, someone said wings, good. Someone said legs, hind legs, you are all right. Fins, there we go. You have mentioned 3. Well done, smarty class. Okay, I said wings, fins, and legs. Okay, which animals have soft skins and need to live in or near water to keep their skin moist? Which animals? Okay, Zinzi said frogs, a lion, no, frog, fish. Let's see the answer. A bullfrog and a tree frog. Remember, there were 2 frogs on that picture. Hi guys, I'm sorry about this. I was kicked off. Can you guys hear me? Let's try. Carry on, I'm back now. I'm so very sorry about that, guys. I have no idea what just happened. I was still teaching to myself. And then I realized there's no screen anymore. So thank you for being patient. Where were we? Let's continue quickly in our last minutes. Which animal uses its tail when catching its victims to drown them in a death roll? Da, 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 da. Let's see what you guys have to say. I'm back, yes. A crocodile. Good. Nice. Okay. Name the animal from this group that can use its front limbs to handle or manipulate objects or food. If you think back on that picture, and I said earlier as well, there's an animal that can use its front limbs, like his hands, to hold food. Which animal was that? To come from that picture though. Good, guys, it was indeed a mouse. Very good. One animal in this group, and I know all of you are going to get it before I've even finished this sentence. One animal in this group specifically has very good hearing. Which one has better hearing than most? Let's quickly see what you guys have to say, because I'm very sure all of you know the answer. There we go. An elephant. Right, quickly think how birds of prey hunt. Which animal in this group needs to have especially good sight to help it hunt? There was a specific bird of prey in there that needs really good sight to help it hunt. You are right. It wasn't an eagle. It was a hawk. Why does the anteater have an armored body? One of you asked me earlier, what is the anteater's covering called? It's an armored body. It's armored. Okay. You can also say it has hard, horny scales because there are like little horns on the scales. It wraps the hard, horny scales to wrap around itself when predators come, and then they cannot eat it. That's a pretty neat thing to have, that you can wrap yourself around when predators come, like your own little house. Okay, this is also your homework, guys. You can take a screenshot if you want. And it is exactly the questions that we just did in class. This is also from the Thunderbolt book. Okay, so there is the picture that we just did, and then all of the questions. So if you listened well, and if you participated, you will know these answers and you can jot them down very, very quickly. And that then brings us to the end of our lesson. Yes, you can, I've uploaded, I think, to the website. Just click there. I'm sure it will be there. If not, just let me know. There's my email address. Just take it down anyway, because that's where you'll send your homework to. Okay, and if you couldn't upload it, just let me know on an email as well. Okay, Smarty class, it's always fun spending time with you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I know there's something very special for you guys in the English class today. So enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.